Many of you are in the comments of my Rodney Hinton Jr. videos, behaving as if you don't understand what's going on. Behaving as if you don't understand what would cause Mr. Rodney Hinton Jr. to do what he did. Not only did he watch his son be gunned down, that's enough. But what you also have to understand is that the United States has utilized the criminal justice system and the police force against Black Americans throughout history. And this is a form of bullying. So if a white man had done something like this, right? Let's say the first thing out of anyone's mouth would be like, oh my gosh, this is what happened. He lost his mind. He went, just because historically that's what everyone does. Is they went around and they say, he had to have had a reason in his past for why this has happened. Was he bullied? Is he mentally ill? They will find all the excuses in the world, right? But when it comes to this black man, everyone just wants to see him as bad. Well, this is not the case. If I can jump into Rodney Hinton Jr.'s mind right now, when he saw that police officer, unfortunately, what he saw was the people who not only took the organization, who not only took his son's life, but who have been taking black people's lives from the beginning of time. They've been using, the United States actually allowed the police force to be used as bullies against Black America. Period. This is a historical fact. So he was not looking at that man. He was looking at the organization. The organization that not only took his son's life, but who he has known from the time he was a little child was going to come after him, whether he's innocent or not, because he's a black man. 18th and 19th century slavery. This is where early policing even started. 1704, the slave patrols were started in the Carolinas, right? Then you have in the early 1800s, the Boston police force. Those were developed from the slave patrols, okay? Then from the mid 1800s to the 1900s, you had the black codes. Those black codes were heavily enforced by who? The police force. Then you had the end of Reconstruction. The rise of the what? The Jim Crow laws, which was enforced by who? The police force. Often with violence and alongside other white mobs. And then we have the civil rights era in the mid 1900s, where everything was captured on film. When black people peacefully protested, peacefully did anything, guess who the threat was against the Black American people? The police force. And the police dogs. Then in the 80s and 90s, the 1980s and 90s, you had the mass incarceration, okay? Over policing, all of it was targeting who? Black neighborhoods. Then we end up seeing Rodney King being beat down by who? The police force. All this over policing, and for minor infractions, minor. While there was under policing, okay, in other neighborhoods. Under policing. That means there was no balance. There was no equal treatment under the law. So the United States uses the police force as bullies. Over time, just like with any person in schools getting bullied, over time you see that group as what? A threat to your livelihood, to your future. They mean to do you harm. They don't mean to do you good. And now you see Mr. Rodney Hinton Jr. It hits home with him. His child is gone. So it is fair to say that Black Americans may see police officers not as protectors, but as threats, enemies, or unjust obstacles. And just like anyone who is bullied, that can lead to damage, psychological harm due to the repeated bullying. And that's just from the bullying. But then when everything climaxes to you have to watch your own child be snatched from this earth by the same organization that has been tormenting your people for centuries. There was definitely mental deterioration when it came down to Rodney Hinton Jr. And if you saw Mr. Rodney Hinton Jr.'s brother, you can tell there was generational trauma. Why? Because he said, y'all did this to us before. You did this to us before. You see that? So instead of going around thinking, he got the wrong guy. No, he actually got the right guy, the right organization. Because just like everyone goes out and defends who? White school shooters and say, oh my gosh, he was bullied, or oh my gosh, he was made fun of. Oh, he says, oh my gosh, we can see why. We can see why. See why with Rodney Hinton Jr. Use that same logic. Except this is more than bullying. If you can see it for bullying, you can see it for this. He watched his life blood be snatched. And you don't understand why this happened? I think you don't want to understand. You just want to see a black person just be, quote unquote, a bad person. You don't want to see his humanity. You don't want there to be a mental, psychological thing going on, a mental lapse, psycho rage that happened. You don't want that to happen. You just want it to be just he did it. No, he didn't just do it. One of the most obvious ways that the police force is being used to bully Rodney Hinton Jr. and Black America is the fact that they pile in. They pile in against Hinton Jr.'s family. Okay? They have no compassion. Yeah, sure, they lost one of their force. But one of your force also took the life of their child. But you don't want to make space for their own grief. You have made yourselves enemies even against their grief. As if they didn't lose a child. There's no balance.